where you're at currently, mindset and strategy, we're going to focus on the resets for women who want real results without starving, without guessing, without overtraining, and without overthinking the whole process. Where you're at currently, you might not be overweight. You might be kind of like unhappy with your body, but you don't feel confident. You want to be toned, but nothing you do seems to stick. You're eating clean, working out, but you still find yourself hiding in baggy clothes or wrapping yourself up in a towel around the pool. When I was in that position, I despised what I looked like. I would never say that like I looked horrible. I didn't. But to me, in my own mind, I hated it. I hated what I saw in the mirror. I looked fine in regular clothes. But when I'm alone with myself, my own thoughts, you get out of the shower, you walk past the mirror. Sometimes you're avoiding it because you don't want to see. It's hard. So just know that I see you, you're not alone. And this is something that so many women feel. And it's the reality, but oftentimes nobody talks about that. So that's why I'm here to tell you this is the first step in your transformation. You've made the connection between where you are, where you want to go, and that in itself is huge. I'm going to go through a little bit of today's presentation, what it's going to look like. We're going to talk about the skinny fat reframe, 6 archetypes of where you may fit in. You may actually identify with multiple of them. I know through my fitness journey, I've identified with every single one at one point. And then we're going to do a little breakout and chat and then go over some tactics and shifting the identity, and then we'll be closing out. Skinny fat reframe. It's that place where you don't necessarily look overweight, but you feel kind of soft, shapeless. Maybe you have low energy. Maybe you feel stuck. What's going on in your mind and body? I want to help you shift it a little bit because I want you to fully understand why you're feeling the way that you are and why so many women experience that exact same cycle. You're wearing clothes and like you look fine. Everyone tells you you look fine, but you feel stuck in your body and you don't have that toned look, even though you might feel like you're doing everything right. So here's why it happens. You could be doing too much cardio and not enough strength training to actually build muscle, not enough strength training to shape and define your body. You can be under eating or eating inconsistently, which messes with your metabolism. Not appropriately progressively overloading or having appropriate structure with your workouts, meaning you're not challenging your muscles enough to get stronger or more defined. If any of that feels like you either where you've been in the past or where you currently are, just drop a yes in the chat. If you've been in that cycle, the random workouts, restricted food, burnout, starting over, just know you are not alone. Like I said, I have been there, done that through and through. But let me just say this, you are not broken. You've just been following a plan for someone else. Or even worse, no plan at all. But the good news is that you're in the right place. You've been doing the best you could with the information that you've had, but it's time to rewrite the story. And that starts with understanding where you've been and why it hasn't worked for you, so that you can actually build the body that you've dreamed of, one that's strong, toned, and full of energy. But it starts with breaking through the cycle, breaking through the mindset, more importantly. So let's get into the specifics of how we can make that happen. So I am going to introduce you to 6 women. These might sound like your friends, but odds are they're you in disguise. When I go through these, I'm going to be going through 6 women. Just go ahead in the chat when something hits home, where you feel like a oof moment, and you be like, wow, you just called me out. Trust me, I did not write any of these with anyone intentionally in plan. They are who we often run into consistently when we look in the mirror and we see that we're at a roadblock. And it's because of women that we run into. When something hits home, just go ahead and drop a me, drop a oof, drop a whatever you want in the chat just to let me know how you're feeling. So number 1 is the perfectionist. If I can't do it perfectly, then I'm failing. You may feel obsessive with food rules, clean eating. You may track workouts, but you get discouraged if the results are not fast. You may struggle with guilt and shame around any form of slip-ups, comparing your body to women who maybe look toned or disciplined, secretly believing that you're not trying hard enough. Does anyone relate to this? I have had clients, and I won't name any names, let's call her Jane. She's had a very all or nothing mindset mentality. When she was on it, like on top of it. But when she would jump off, she would go ghost because she felt like everything collapsed. She felt so much shame and so much guilt that she couldn't even run to the person that's trying to support her. She got almost no progress due to this fixed mindset because she couldn't break through this. But let me just remind you that 100 days at 60% is better than 2 days at 100. Let me say that again. 100 days at 60% is better than 2 days at 100. Having that all or nothing mindset, trying to feel like you need to be a perfectionist, that you need to perform perfectly or you're never going to get results, that will be the thing that holds you back. That will be the thing that makes you stumble because you're going to feel like, oh, well, I've already fallen off, so let's just keep going. Number 2, and it is the cardio bunny. So we all know that girl at the gym. I just need to burn more calories. It's all about how many calories you burned on your watch. She's always posting it up, how many calories she's burned on her watch. It's always about calories burned. Think running, HIIT classes, spin, group fitness. That is the key to her fat loss. She avoids strength training because she's afraid of getting bulky. She doesn't want to lift weights. She doesn't want to do deadlifts. That's going to make her bulky. She doesn't want to do bench press. That's going to make her... She has a flat butt, no muscle tone, and she doesn't understand why. She eats very little, but still feels soft and bloated all the time. She still feels stuck with that skinny fat look that she hates looking in the mirror at every day. She associates sweating and soreness with an effective workout. Does that relate to anyone? Y'all know a girl that does this. The more I sweat, the more fat I burned. I burned this much fat off of my body. I live on 1,000 calories, salads, and I do daily HIIT classes. But no matter what I do, I still have that lower belly pooch and I still feel soft. Number 3, and that is the diet hopper. So having the mentality of like, maybe this one will finally work for me. Maybe you've tried keto, fasting, juice cleanses. You maybe get initial results and then immediately rebound and gain more and more than what you first lost. Never learning how to eat sustainably for your actual goals and constantly thinking you need to eat less to look better. Feeling like nothing actually works long term for her. Does anyone relate to that? Maybe I tried this diet, I tried that diet, I tried Weight Watchers, I tried intermittent fasting, I tried keto, I tried this, I tried that. I'll lose 5 pounds and I gained 10 back. I knew how to lose the weight, but how do I keep it off? Felt like I was always just starting over again and again. Never felt confidence in my body. I just want to find the thing that finally works for me. So let's jump on to the nice girl. I just don't want to be vain. I just want to feel good. You're downplaying how badly you actually want to feel sexy and confident in your own skin. You're completely downplaying it. And maybe it's from guilt. Maybe it's from shame. Guilt about wanting more curves, more definition, a spiced up sex life. Avoiding talking about her body because it feels selfish. Taking care of everyone around you, kids, husband, job, but then neglecting yourself. Craves feeling empowered, but fears the judgment for caring about looks. Does anyone relate to that? I know I did for a long time. I did not want to sound vain, so I would neglect my own health because of that. Everyone else came first. My job, my family. I'll squeeze in a workout here and there, eat whatever was around, but then feel guilty about wanting to change my body. I thought I just had to love myself exactly where I am. And yes, you should. You should love yourself. But deep down, you also need to take care of yourself. Does anyone relate to that one? So that brings me to the overthinker. So what if I do all of this and I still don't see results? Paralysis by analysis. Follow tons and tons and tons of fitness influencers, always researching, barely taking any consistent action. Wants everything figured out before she commits. Fearing failure. She stays stuck in the planning phase and never actually commits. Thinking her body is too complicated. It's broken. It's not broken. Anyone relate to that? Anyone relate to this? I spend more time watching fitness videos than actually doing any of them. I didn't know what program to follow, what to eat, or if I'd mess up. So I waited. I planned. I started. And then I stopped. Probably 100 times. I was afraid to fail. So instead, I just stayed stuck. The trendy girl. I know that we all have to know a couple of these. If it's aesthetic, it must be effective. Follows whatever's popular on TikTok or Instagram. Pilates girls right now, super trending. Hot girl walks, all the rage. Celery juice cleanses, the whole shabam. They love the matching sets, the vibe, the looks. You look cute, wellness, all the things. Wanting to feel toned and lean, but then avoiding the heavy lifting because it's not on brand with that cute aesthetic look. Feeling frustrated when your body doesn't change, even though her lifestyle looks healthy. Does anyone relate to this? I just want to look cute in my set and feel included. So I did Pilates. I ran with the hot girl walks. And I tried every TikTok trend, but I still felt puffy in my jeans and soft in my swimsuits. So in the chat real quick, which one are you guys relating to the most right now, would you say? Just go ahead and you can just type the number, or if it's multiple numbers, I'll go first. And if anyone wants to unmute themselves and like talk for a sec, you can feel free to. Either what you have felt in the past, what you feel currently, but I'll go first. I was the perfectionist and overthinker all at once. As in, I would overthink, plan, make sure it was absolutely perfect, wait for it, as in like How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson, wait for it, and then think about how I could execute absolutely perfect before I took any further steps. And that was how I lived so much of my fitness journey, trying to make everything perfect, trying to follow all the things, get the perfect things. What's the perfect recipe, the perfect diet, the perfect everything in order before I actually executed. And then when I would execute, and maybe execute a little wrong, because we're all fallen humans, we're not always going to do everything perfectly. And then start over on Monday. Or maybe next Monday, because I missed this Monday. Or I'll just start next month. The 1st is always good. January 1st, New Year's, that sounds like a great time. That was me. I am going to jump through a couple of those identities, because now we've all kind of said what our identities are, and now we need to recognize that those identities, they are what are holding you back, or what have been holding you back in the past. So let's start with the perfectionists. Your prison is you have this all or nothing mindset, is you end up falling into a shame spiral, and you've set unrealistic standards for yourself. This is the key reminder. Progress, not perfection, is what transforms me. Missing one step doesn't mean I failed the journey. Progress, not perfection, is what transforms me. Missing one step does not mean that I failed the journey. I am allowed to grow through grace, not guilt. I give myself permission for that. I can grow through grace. I don't have to feel the guilt. I don't have to feel the shame. I don't have to do the spirals. So the second identity, the cardio bunny. Over-exercising is your prison. Being afraid to lift and chasing the sweat, chasing the burn. So here's your reminder. Burning calories is not the same as building the body that I want. Rest and muscle are parts of the strategy. They are not the enemy. Oftentimes a lot of people think they're the enemy. I can't rest. I gotta do all the things. And lastly, strong is sexy, and strength takes a strategy. Third identity, the diet hopper. Your prison is you are distracted by the trends. You are addicted to quick fixes. But let's reframe it. Sustainability is sexier than speed. Number 2, I do not need another diet. I need direction, focus. And lastly, consistency beats intensity every single time. I'm gonna read that one back. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Remember the 100 days at 60% versus 2 days at 100? Consistency. Build on that consistency. Build that momentum and get going with it. Because that, side tangent, I don't believe in motivation. I think motivation sucks. Motivation is just a flowery word of, I need something to kick me in the butt to get me to do the thing. Not always going to show up. What do you do when motivation isn't there? You do it anyway. Consistency. Big Mo, oftentimes people think of that as motivation. I talk about it as momentum. Big Mo, you want Big Mo to come visit you, but not you don't want big motivation to visit you. You want big momentum to come visit you. And how do you build momentum? By getting started, by being consistent. It's harder to push a car, to get the car started by pushing than it is to keep the car going. Build that momentum. All right, number 4, the nice girl. Your prison is you self-sacrifice and you feel guilty for investing in yourself. I felt like this for so long, so long. And here's what we need to remember. Taking care of me helps me take care of others. I can't pour from an empty cup. I can't do it. My needs matter. My goals matter. And I honor God by stewarding my health. There was a pastor at my old church. She would explain the holes analogy, which if you've never heard of it, holes analogy is like imagine yourself as like a red Solo cup and now put a whole bunch of holes in it because we're all broken people. We all have holes. Pouring into this cup that's full of all these holes, you're just being drained the entire time. How are you going to pour from that cup that is running empty constantly? Got to patch up those holes. Got to work on yourself. Got to take care of yourself. To a degree, you got to put yourself first, not to be selfish, but because you want to serve others better. Number 5, the overthinker. Your prison is paralysis by analysis. Fear of doing it wrong. What we need to remember is clarity comes through action, not overthinking. Overthinking will be your biggest enemy. Number 2 is done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. And lastly, I move forward even when I'm not 100% ready. I don't wait for things to be all lined up perfectly, for everything to be perfect. When life slows down, when the kids are in school, when work isn't as crazy, when XYZ, you can fill it in your own life. I don't wait. I move forward even when I'm not 100% ready, even when I don't have it all figured out, because done is better than perfect. And lastly, the trendy girl. Her prison is she wants the aesthetic. She chases trends that don't have substance. So what we need to remember is looking the part is not the same as living it. I want results, not just routines that look cute. And lastly, real change starts when I stop performing and start progressing. So I just want to take a moment and just slow down. That was a lot. I just want to give you guys a moment to take all that in. But I'm going to leave you with 2 questions. What is one belief you are letting go of today? What is one way you've been holding yourself back? I want everyone to just take some time to yourself. I'm going to put on some music in the background and just start journaling. Start putting together what that would look like for you. I want to encourage you guys. I know you guys all just definitely were action takers and definitely just journaled a whole bunch, have paragraphs written, obviously. So if you are feeling bold, I want to encourage at least one person to come off of mute, no pressure. One person to come off of mute and say it aloud. The most powerful parts. What you took out of this. What belief are you letting go of today? Or what's something that's been holding you back?
That there won't be any perfection, and that I just have to be content and just seeing the progress and keep making progress. That is the goal, is progress. I have to be fine with that.
You're making great progress, Miley. That mentality in itself, already making that reframe, is progress. So celebrate that. It's an identity shift. An identity win. Side tangent. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and I was explaining to her that most of the time, we do not know how to celebrate ourselves. Our celebrations, we only know of celebrations as outcome goals. We have reached the outcome goal that we desire to hit. But there's other things that take place in the meantime. Identity shifts, progress goals, outcome goals. Doing the mental work, having those identity shifts, they're going to get you to your outcome goals way faster. And they are something that will show up in every other area of your life when you start making those identity shifts. Because think about it, if you take, Miley, I'm picking on you for a second. Miley, if you take perfection to a future marriage and you would hold yourself to a standard of I have to be perfect, you're going to feel pretty shamed probably day one. Because I know I would. I know I did if I held myself to that standard. But we aren't to hold ourselves to that standard. Perfection, it only exists in our King Jesus. So thank you for sharing, being bold. Whether you shared out loud in the chat or whispered it to yourself, it matters. You're not just trying to look different. You're learning to think differently. And that's the kind of transformation that actually sticks. All right, so we're going to pivot a little bit, which is where things are really going to start to click. Why you may be actually, because it's not your willpower, it's not your motivation, and it's definitely not just about the perfect workout or the perfect meal plan. Most women who feel stuck are stuck in tactics. You jump from routine to routine to routine to diet to diet to diet, new program, new challenge, new this, new that, but none of it sticks because you haven't shifted your identity. So here's the truth. Quick fixes might give you temporary results, but they won't give you lasting transformation. You may lose 5 pounds and gain 10 back. You'll feel motivated for a week and then ghost your plan. Why? Because the real change doesn't happen through hustling. It happens through ownership. So to go from stuck to strong, you need 4 things. And that's structure. That is a plan that actually makes sense and it fits you, your lifestyle, your goals. A strategy, not just what's trending, but what's actually effective for your goals. Strength, not just physically, but mentally. The ability to keep showing up. And support, someone in your corner helping you course correct when you just want to quit. We've all been there. You cannot hate your body into transformation. Can't. I tried. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. You can't guess your way into confidence. You can fake it for a little bit, but it's not real. And you definitely cannot stay in the same mindset and expect a new body. It starts in the mind. The body will follow suit. The mind is the most important place. And if you realize this isn't about motivation anymore, it's about maturity, are you willing to stop restarting and actually start building? If you are, it's going to take a different level of commitment than before. Not intensity, identity. Do me a favor, drop a yes in the chat if you are tired of starting over every summer. If you are done with the quick fixes, if you are ready for actually building a foundation that lasts. So some of you are obviously starting to feel it. Dang, I've been doing this alone for a long time. I'm tired. Tired of guessing. Tired of starting over. Tired of trying to piece together a plan from TikTok or Instagram or some trend and hoping that it sticks. I want to say this gently. You don't have to know if coaching is right. You don't have to know what it looks like. You just have to be curious enough to say, what could this look like for me? I've had girls in here tonight who started in the exact same place. Frustrated, stuck, feeling like, yeah, my body isn't bad, but it sure doesn't feel like mine. They reached out, asked the hard questions. Now they're showing up, getting strong, feeling sexy. And more importantly, they're feeling clear about themselves, their goals, more and more each and every day. It's not going to take one day. It's consistent action over time. So if that's tugging at your heart tonight, just shoot me a message that says ready. I'll ask you a few quick questions, point you in the right direction. No pressure, just clarity. But here's what I want you to walk away with. You can go further in 4 months with the right structure and support than you will in 4 years of guessing alone, of overthinking on your own. You do not need to hustle harder. You need to train smarter. Believe bigger. So I just want to thank you guys for trusting me with your time and your heart tonight. Whether you reach out to me or not, just know this. You're not crazy for wanting more, for wanting to be better, to look better, to do better, to show up better. You're worthy of a body that reflects how beautiful and strong you actually are. I just want to encourage you all to keep up the great work